the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checker flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You move to NFR, feel the speed. Tuesday night, feel the light. 4 leagues, get ready, it's a sight. SAFRL, speed so bright. SKR, going full flight. JPR, rev it up, don't stop. LSA, engines make 'em pop. 5 drivers, each team roaring. Racing hearts, no ignoring. Race night fever, 8 o'clock. Engines roar, the streets rock. 4 leagues fighting, head to head. Burning rubber, painting red. Crowds cheer, lights flashing. Through the night, all passion. One by one, on the track. No turning back, no slack. High speed, adrenaline rush. Turbocharged, feel the crush. League pride, holding tight. Win or lose, in the night. Race night fever, 8 o'clock. Engines roar, the streets rock. 4 leagues fighting, head to head. Burning rubber, painting red. the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, yeah. NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin.
Tuesday night clash, we gather here. Four fierce leagues, no room for fear. SAFRL bringing fire hot. SK already taking the shot. JPR rolling like a storm. LSA precise like a norm. 5 drivers, each heart's ablaze. Victory dreams in relentless haze. Head to head on Tuesday night. Racing fast under the light. Fury built, engine scream loud. Fully fight, make us proud. Tires screeching through the turns. Passion ignites and the rubber burns. SAFRL won't yield ground. SKR driver spinning round. JPR gripping whistle tight. LSA moves with surgical might. 5 souls from each battling hard. Chasing glory in this racing yard. Engines roar, pulses race. Adrenaline rushes in this place. 4 leagues clashing in the dark. Chasing dreams, leaving marks. Turn on the screen, it's NFR. Feel the rush like a shooting star. The engines roar, the tires scream. Fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama every turn on NFR. The rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend. Where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR. Burning tracks, driving far. Where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Like Fernando calls the play on NFR. Every race day, commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR. Burning tracks, driving far. Where the races never Burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. And our only friend. Death Queen, the tops of Porter scene. The crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see.
Feel the speed, the thrill, high octane drama can get our fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checkered flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR's lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You live to NFR, feel the speed, the speed.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to NFR. Welcome back to Tuesday nights for the League v League Championship. Of course, tonight, Season 1, Round 6. It's the third of the league hosted venues. Of course, tonight, SKR get their opportunity to choose a venue, and I'm just having a look at my phone right now. And there we go. The track you will be racing at in 5 minutes from now is the Portimão. That's the circuit in Portugal. So get ready. Don't know how many of the drivers have been polishing up their setup at Portugal, how many have been practicing at Portugal. Of course, not one that's on the current calendar. A lot of guys don't put in the same amount of lap times. What do you guys think in the comment section about the Portuguese circuit? The drivers happy, are they not? Of course, not so long ago, I think it was last night, we were in Spain. So just across the Iberian Peninsula, this time in Portugal. The circuit Portimão in Algarve. Of course, a circuit that was purpose-built for Formula One all the way back in 2008 with the promise of being put on the F1 calendar in 2010. They did have an F1 test there in 2009, but the Grand Prix in 2010 simply never happened. Of course, only 10 years later did Portugal finally get their Grand Prix, and that's only because F1 was desperately looking for European venues in 2020, because traveling was a bit of a problem. Of course, still a few minutes to go, 3 minutes to go before the start of qualifying. Drivers now will be getting themselves mentally ready for the race, trying to see if they still remember that layout. What I can tell you is turn one's a lot of fun. I'll be back with you all in 2 or 3 minutes from now. Enjoy.
NFR, it's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beat. Engines roar, can't stay off seat. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. NFR, NFR. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin.
Tuesday night clash, we gather here. 4 fierce leagues, no room for fear. SAFRL bringing fire hot. SK already taking the shot. JPR rolling like a storm. LSA precise like a norm. 5 drivers, each heart's ablaze. Victory dreams in relentless haze. Head to head on Tuesday night. Racing fast under the light. Fury builds, engines scream loud. Fully fight, make us proud. Tires screeching through the turns. Passion ignites and the rubber burns. SAFRL won't yield ground. SKR driver spinning round. JPR gripping whistle tight. LSA moves with surgical might. 5 souls from each battling hard. Chasing glory in this racing yard. Engines roar, pulses race. Adrenaline rushes in this place. Four leagues crashing in the dark, chasing dreams, leaving marks. Turn on the screen, it's NFR. Feel the rush like a shooting star. The engines roar, the tires scream. Fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR. The rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR. Burning tracks, driving far. Where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Fernando calls the play on NFR. Every race day, commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to NFR and welcome back to the League V League Championship. Of course, tonight, I think I've labeled something incorrectly there. But anyway, tonight, Season 1, Round 6. May have labeled something incorrectly there on the title, but I'll fix that later. Of course, just 5 minutes ago, more like 10 minutes ago, I announced the circuit for this evening. Of course, this is the third league hosted round. JPR have had their turn. LSA have had their turn. Tonight is the turn of SKR, and SAFRL will have their turn later on in the season. Welcome to everyone already in the stream. We've got Ubuntu, we've got Andres, Mr. Rem, Skull, Death Queen, Scott, lots of views here early on. We're already starting to get some action in Q1. Just a reminder, I'm sure everybody here already knows this, but I've got to fill up the time with something, so just a reminder, in the League V League Championship there is no individual championship. Drivers are not battling it out against each other. It's more the teams that are battling it out against each other. See two green cars close to each other on track. Don't expect them to fight too hard. They're going to be working as a team, looking for the most effective way to get through the field. SKR was last in the championship last week. They have elevated themselves, got a good result last week with a surprising victory. Now they'd like to repeat defeat tonight. Of course, it should be home ground advantage to SKR. SKR would have known what this circuit was for quite some time now. They would have told all their drivers that we're going to be here tonight, what to practice. They've been comparing lap times, comparing setups, trying to polish up, get it as best as you possibly can, while the other three leagues are wondering where we're going to be. So it should be advantage to the green team. Of course, the green team, SKR. So a lot of drivers in the pits. Riding with Andre. And look at that, doesn't like the commentary. Won't find the grip, luckily holds on to the car, no damage. A little bit of grass on the left front tyre. Should be able to get back on with it, but it's probably just an outlap. This is Big T, one of the SKR drivers. No lap times to speak of just yet. Very similar to Catalunya in length, this circuit, 4.6 kilometers. Shares one or two characteristics with the Spanish circuit. Only 2 Portuguese Grand Prix have ever been held at this circuit. As for the rest of them, they were all held at the circuit up the road, just outside of Lisbon. Circuit called SAFRL, still used in the World Superbike Championship to this day. That fell off the calendar in 1996, I believe it was. And they've been trying to get back on ever since. Wakes on an outlap. It's one of the JPR cars. Then Levy also on an outlap. Also a JPR car, gotta get rid of that purple, it's gonna confuse me. And this is Mr. M. For SAFRL. Destroyer still in the pits, another JPR car, that's Nick Gishin. We have Andres, another SAFRL. Convoy, LSA, the team that leads the championship. Remember, no drivers championship, so when I'm talking about the championship, I'm talking about the only one that counts. It's the team championship. LSA well in front at this stage. Can bring up that team championship for you real quick. LSA 242 points, the nearest team to them is SAFRL at 129. And then SKR jumping up to 82 after that performance last week, and JPR with some work to do. First lap times have started coming in. Of course, Big T, provisional pole. Smurf currently in P2, then Skylar in P3. Got Andre P4, Divan, Skull, Andres. That's your order so far. Don't think that lap from Andres was a competitive one. I think he must have just backed out of that. A lot slower than the other drivers. Big T, Smurf, Skylar, Levy. I think Levy's just inserted himself up there into P4. We have a disqualification. Saw the notification, didn't get a chance to read through it, but we have a disqualification. Was it for blocking the pit entry? Not entirely sure what that was for. It may have been for blocking the pit entry. But Allow is going to not be able to qualify for this race. Of course, already difficult when you don't know where you're going to be racing. Cut your quali session out of it. You're just making things even more difficult. This is Awakes. We're waiting for the first lap time from him. runs on this circuit. Lots of undulation. These sky commentators like to call it. The difference with the elevation change here in Portugal and the elevation change in Kota. So they have to constantly resurface Kota because that elevation change is man-made and it moves around every now and then. Here in Portimão, this is all natural elevation change. Portimão surrounded by a lot of volcanic rock. Big T, still the quickest man, he has come out on an outlap, looking to go a little quicker, move the goalpost a little further. Smurf in P2 remains in the pits. This is Skylar in P3, 17.4, almost matching Smurf. Look how close those times are, just 0.02 of a second between the two. Andre in P4, followed by Skull in P5. Those two also very close together, 17.7, 17.8, just a tenth of a second between the two. Of course, both those drivers, SKR drivers. So SKR flying high in the early stages. LSA P3, waiting for Smurf. It's another SKR driver in P2, as well as Big T, currently on provisional pole. So SKR flying high. Or does LSA have something hidden in the pocket? Something they haven't shown just yet. An extra card. Of course, it is a circuit that can catch you off guard. When you're thinking of a mystery circuit, you'll probably be looking at the official F1 calendar. Forget about the circuits like Portugal. They're on the game, but not necessarily on the calendar. You're just going to get a situation where guys have done a lot less laps of the layout than usual. Plus 3 of the leagues didn't know we'd be here. So that is what we should be seeing. We should be seeing green cars at the front. France has done a fantastic job to put his LSA car up into P2. Then Smurf, another SKR car in P3. Skylar, LSA, P4. Then Cresso, P5, another LSA car. Andre being pushed down to P6, then Skull P7. But still lots of SKR in the top 10. Right now with Big T comes into the pits. So no improvement on the cards for the man on provisional pole. Decides not to waste any more time out on track, comes into the pits. Just over 7.5 minutes remaining in the session. Of course, this will set your order. Short quali session followed by a 50% race. Big T, then France, then Smurf, then Skylar, Presso P5, Convoy in P6, Andre P7, Skull P8, Mr. Ron P9 and Spikes making up the top 10. As we initially started with 18 drivers, somebody else has been able to squeeze in, so we got the 19 drivers. Unfortunately, one of them has been disqualified. Remember Allow, he was disqualified earlier on for what I think was blocking with the plane. Not one you see very often. Just I haven't heard anybody in the comments section saying anything about bad weather, so I'm going to presume we have a dry race ahead of us. Usually somebody does see rain. It is now travels quickly and we get rid of it in the comment section. None of that so far. Just last night we were at the Circuit Barcelona. Tonight we're in Portimão. Two opposite ends of the Mediterranean Sea. Same coastline though, just it's quite a walk. Still waiting for two cars to set lap times. One of them is Awakes. We're watching Awakes at the moment. Looking for that first lap time of the evening. The other one is Nick Gisham, so it's actually two JPR cars looking for their first lap time of the evening, with just 5.5 minutes remaining in this session. Getting things a little close. So easy to go out there and invalidate a lap. All that time is gone by on track, comes down to nothing. Low lap time, you have to come in to do it all over again. One of those drivers has gone on to get a lap time. The other driver is Awakes. Still waiting for a lap time from that driver. Most of the drivers now in the pits, just 3 drivers out on quick laps. That's Levy, Favre and Nick Gisham. Those cars currently 7, 8 and 9. And Levy comes into the pits. I think the last couple of minutes are going to be quite frantic around this circuit. But all the 17s insanely close in the midfield, from P2 down to P14, just 0.6 of a second cover the field. Big T, the only driver that has dipped into the 116s, it's a 116.8 flat. Then the next best, France and Smurf, both on 17.2s, just split by 0.6 of a second. Then Skylar 17.4, and then this is where it gets really close. 17.4, 17.4, 17.5, 17.5. There's actually a pair of 0.4, pair of 0.5. There's a pair of 0.6. There's 1.7 and there's 4.8s. Extremely close midfield here in the League v League Championship at the moment. Big T's just got the advantage over the rest of the field. Got a 4/10 advantage over the rest of the field. Of course, no messing about. Everybody on the very best set of tyres available to them. Everybody on a brand new set of softs. Everybody on their final run. If they're not on their final run, if they're in the pits, they need to get a move on. Riding with Big T, looking to find an improvement. France has just gone fastest. It's a 16.3. We said the 16.8 was quick. Well, take that. We've just moved it by a half a second down the road. What does Big T have in his pocket? Does he have that much in his pocket to take that position back? He's going to have to find just over half a second. It's going to have to be a very special lap time. Not so long ago, he would have been thinking, I might just have this wrapped up. I assure you there would have been a loud sigh as that France lap time popped up on the screen, but we'll see if he filters into the pits. There's no improvement if he stays out there. Yes, there is. He believes there is. We'll see. 16.3. It's a big improvement. It's just not enough. Needed an extra 10. Gonna be good enough for P2 though. 2 drivers have dipped into the 16s. Got Smurf on an outlap, Skylar on an outlap. This is Presso in sector 1 of his final quick lap. Let's see where everybody else is. This is Acid Milk. He's in sector 2 of his final run, and he's 10th up on his last run. Of course, so many drivers there in the midfield, split by just 0.6 of a second. If you are able to find a 10th on that final lap, might be 1 position, might be 2 or even 3. 1/10 of a second in a field like this is a lot more than usual. In a more open field, 1/10 can get you 3 or 4 positions up the road. Of course, we always mention when the lobby is this full, you really don't want to be starting from the gap and giving yourself a really big job unless you were to get an early safety car. D returns to the pits. He's had enough. Espresso, let's ride on board with him as he goes around the final corner. Does he have an improvement on him? Current best is a 17.4. He pops up a 17.1, so there is an improvement. Goes up to P3. Good enough to touch that front row. You want to touch the front row, you're going to have to get into the 16s, and not just any 16. It's going to have to be a low 16. Still waiting for Smurf. We're still waiting for Skylar. Convoy on an out lap. Don't know if he's going to make it over the line. There's only 10 seconds remaining on the clock. I think he may have just mistimed that. Not going to be able to get back to the line. So session is over for Convoy. Session is over. Checkered flag has fallen. So when these drivers cross the line, that will be their final attempt before going into the race. Lebby over the line was in P8, goes up into P6, nice improvement at the end. Then this is Skylar, he's in sector 2. Also one of the quicker drivers in the field, looking for an improvement in the closing stages. Looked like it was all going to be SKR's way in the early days of qualifying, but now LSA showing what they're capable of, as they've done in all the prior rounds this season, always showing, always presenting a good showing rather. This is Skylar, and he does improve, goes up into P3, very nicely done, just ahead of Tresso at the end there, stealing P3. Anyone else still on track? I think Nick Gishin is still out on track, but that track map is red. That tells me he has invalidated. Probably see him peel off into the pits unless the game is playing tricks on me. Let's see if he goes over the line. Don't know why the track is in red though. There is no improvement. I think that was indeed an invalidated lap. It just takes longer to come into the pits and wait for the mechanics to wheel you into the car than to rather just go over the check flag and let the game finish for you. Just wait for those official results, and we'll try to do them as quickly as we can so that we can get to everyone. The lobby's a bit full. I've got the habit of missing out the last few drivers. So there's your order for the race. France P1, then Big D joins him on the front row. It's going to be Skylar P3, Tresso P4, then Smurf, Levy, Spite, Convoy, It's Free, and Skull make up the top 10. On the other side of the top 10 with a little bit of work to do. Nick Gish P11, Andre P12, then Acid Milk 13, Mr. M 14, Destroyer 15, Divan 16, Andres 17, Awakes 18, and Allow will start from the rear of the field because he got disqualified. Welcome up Magozi, welcome to the League v League Championship. Good to have you on the channel. Of course, you just missed out on qualifying. We're about to head off into the race. Now the driver's attention will turn from setting the best possible lap to thinking about their strategy, a long-term strategy for the race. It's not about setting the quickest lap, it's about maintaining your pace throughout the race, keeping that nose clean, and of course staying within the white lines. We've seen drivers lately on the channel being cost a lot of positions just due to penalties. We've seen a few examples of drivers racking up the penalties only to get a late safety car at the end, and we have a complete shuffle of the field. So that'll be one of the things the drivers will need to keep in mind. Of course, not everybody too familiar with the layout, or not as familiar with the layout as they would be with some other circuits. And that's when the mistakes, they invalidated, not necessarily invalidated laps, that's for qualifying, but that's where the warnings come in. 3 warnings, you pick up a penalty. sounds like a lot. Three warnings. Oh, they rack up real quick. Because he's having technical issues trying to type. Well, thought you would have mastered a keyboard at this stage, at Magozi. I was just about to say, and we're still waiting. It's a long pause, but we are in fact underway. We get the dual green lights. Alexander asking if this is Spain. No, it's not Spain. This is Portimão in Portugal. And we look at the layout from the top really quickly. Three tracks have a lot of similarity, and that's the two tracks here in Portugal, SKR and Portimão, as well as Barcelona, all three circuits. And a lot of similarity at Ngozi, saying it is Swaziland. Well, wouldn't that be interesting? The race in Swaziland. I believe it's not called Swaziland, it's called Eswatini. Martin saying, bring it to Benoni. Well, that would be interesting. I suppose they could do it at the Formula K circuit. I say we have a street circuit around the rural streets of Mpumalanga and see how reliable F1 cars really are. Now the cars line up one final time. Guys at the front will be wanting to get on with things, but they have to wait, they have to be patient, they have to wait for that entire field to line up on the grid. The fuller the lobby, the longer it takes. Now we get the red lights. When there's 5 of them, they will go out and we will get underway. You see all the smoke. It's the drivers desperately looking for traction. It's SKR into turn 1, they lead the way. Then it's LSA all the way, P2, P3, P4. Then we've got another SKR car in P5, I believe that is Snow. Followed by Levy in P6, Convoy P7. Lots of switching around, can't read the order out just yet. Otherwise I'll be correcting myself every few seconds. Big T, still the man out front. So important for him to get into turn 1 first and to get out of turn 1 first. That would have been his first target, and he's completed that first target. A lot of big winners or big losers at the start, just biggest difference, Convoy picking up 3 positions. Also Divan picking up 3 positions. Good to see no major incidents on lap 1, everybody keeping a cool head. It's a long race, 53 laps, same distance as Barcelona actually. Barcelona also 33 laps for a 50% race. Told you the distance was similar. Big T 121.5, that's the first timed lap of the race. Those lap times will come down a long way. We've brought up the tyre screen so everybody can get a better idea of what's going on and who's doing what. There's big T's out there on the medium compound. Presso in P2 is going to have a superior grip. The only driver there in the top 5 that has gone with the with the shot. It's going to be the quickest tyre in the opening stages of the race. And we've got France, Skylar and Convoy, 3, 4 and 5, they're all on a medium tyre. Next soft runner, you've got to go down to P6, you'll find Smurf with the SKR drivers. And some more medium runners in the way of Levy and Skull, P7 and 8. Then we've got a pair of hard runners, Spikes and it's Free. They went for the hard tyre. We've just witnessed an incident. Spikes. Was it Spikes? I believe it was. I got confused there for a second. I was going to say it's a Williams, but there's no Williams in this event. So that is the SAFRL car coming short. Unfortunately for him, it's early days, and that means the field is so close together that leaving the track for any period of time means you're going to lose a whole bunch of positions. Acid Milk comes the first driver to pick up a penalty. It's only lap 3 of 33. That equates to 1 warning per lap. So we don't want to be doing that. Need to slow down on those penalties. It's a big wake-up call. Find yourself in a situation at the end of the race where you've racked up 12 or 15 seconds worth of penalties, effectively takes you out of the race. Still Big T, then Tresso. That gap has opened up beyond DRS. France, one of the LSA drivers currently in P3, one of the quickest men in the field here tonight. So many quick drivers in the field tonight, so many potential winners really. Of course, the race should be about the one who's quickest gets to the line first, but we all know it doesn't always work that way. It comes down to circumstance. Comes down to luck, comes down to being at the right part of the racetrack at the right time. Of course, nobody's mentioned weather in the comment section, so I don't think that's going to be something we need to worry about in the race. But of course, any sort of stoppage in the race, safety car, virtual safety car, causes early pit stops and just shakes up the entire field. Welcome to Visor in the comment section, good to have you. Always making his presence known. Can't miss it when Visor comes in. He just takes over the comment section. I'm pretty sure he's it's one letter on the keyboard, or it's just copy and paste all the way. Big T leads the way from Tresso, then France in P3, Convoy P4, Skylar P5, then we've got Smurf in P6. Followed by Levy, Skull and Andre, then it's Free, the final point. Just remember, this is the third of the mystery races. We've already had the LSA mystery race, we've already had the JPR mystery race, tonight the SKR mystery race. SAFRL will have their turn later on. You see there, the SAFRL track will be the penultimate round of the season, so round 11, that's when they will get their opportunity. Support for JPR, support for SKR. Never see anyone talking about LSA in here. Where's all the LSA fans? These guys are leading the championship. They're at the front every other race. I just don't see you guys in the comment section. Support coming in the comment section as well for Awakes. Not sure if I should try and pronounce the name. We'll just go with the first two letters. We'll go with DJ. DJ showing his support for Awakes in the comment section. Always good to see family and friends showing up to watch the races, showing their support. But at the moment, Big T, he has timed this perfectly. Remember, it was so important to get into turn 1 first. He did that. Then it's another thing to get the car stopped into turn 1. He did that too. His next target, open up a gap beyond DRS. He has clearly done that. 3.4 seconds the gap to the man in P2. Man in P2 is this one here. It's France. Got a car close behind him, but he'll have the comfort of knowing that that is one of his teammates. So there's not going to be any late lunges. There's not going to be any wheel to wheel. All these teams will be in communication with each other. They will be driving for the best possible result for the team. Ooh, just a little bit of a wobble. I believe that was a JPR car. Was that? Didn't see who that was. I think that was Levy. Back end just stepping out ever so briefly, just raising the heart rate there of the driver, giving him a wake-up call. If your mind was just starting to drift off in any way, well, that will set you right back in your place. Big T over the line once more. It's led from the start, he's still in the lead. France P2, 4.2 seconds. That gap continues to grow. It just shows the quality of this drive by Big T. We know how quick France, we know how quick Tresser, we know how quick Convoy can all be. But they've fallen 4.2 seconds adrift from Big T. So Big T putting all the cards on the table, showing all of his pace, definitely not holding back, not waiting for anyone. And he'll be hoping for a no safety car race so that he can just continue putting in these lap times and make a simple job of it. Big T leads the way from France, Tresso, Convoy and Skylar. Those are your top 5. Next 5 are Lobby, Smurf, Skull, Andre and Elau. Remember Elau, he was disqualified in quali, was not able to set a lap time. I think it was for blocking the pit lane, but I can't be certain on that one. Gonna have to go back and check the stream later. But he has made up several positions. Of course, started in P19, he's up into the points, P10, so showing a lot of pace early on. He's got a couple of SKR cars he needs to clear this time. He's got Andre just ahead of him, Skull a little further down the road. He's going to try line up Andre on this very lap. I think he might be in front before the corner. Yes, he is. We'll talk about some of the similarities between Catalunya and Portugal. There is no similarity, is definitely that turn 1. Turn 1, all about bravery, all about throwing the car into that right-hander and praying there's going to be grip when you do. Big T, 5.2 seconds. That continues to grow lap by lap. France needs to react. He's got his teammate just behind him, Convoy. Those two should be able to work as a team. Switch positions, DRS, tow each other around. Should be no fighting between the teammates. Obviously that will just let Big T disappear into the distance even quicker than he is doing already without any of their assistance. Go down to P5 to get another LSA car of Skylar, followed closely by Levy, looking to get himself up into the top 5. DRS just didn't have a straight long enough to get there. Running out of tarmac. Really want to be as close to that rear diffuser as possible when you open up DRS. That gap is 7/10, 8/10. You know it's going to be a little bit too far for that turn 1 unless you pull out the almighty lunge. It's going to have to be a really impressive almighty lunge. And the other driver's also going to have to be willing to let it happen. Otherwise it ends in disaster. 5.6 seconds, another half a second taken out of the lead by Big T just on the last lap. France and Convoy still 2 and 3, the LSA cars line astern. Then Tresso in P4. Not the best camera angle, but where is Tresso? There he is, another LSA car. He's got a bit of a DRS train behind him. Not the longest DRS train, just the 2 cars, but he's got Skylar and Levy looking to get that P4, take it away from him, and, well, they are going to take it away from him because he's dived into the pits. Tresso into the pits. First of the top runners to come into the pits. I think that's because he started on a set of softs. Probably didn't make it the ground he would have wanted to make in the early stages. Probably one of those LSA cars decided one of us has to go on softs, try and stay with Big T. That experiment did not work. Big T has cleared off into the distance. 5.7 seconds is the gap. Convoy now promoted into P2. And it's France in P3. Quite a gap, 3.2 seconds down to P4. Skylar, Levy P5. Skull not far behind in P6. Then you get Smurf. Remember, I believe it was 3 drivers started on the soft tyre. One of them has already come into the pits. Smurf also started on that soft tyre, as did Divan. So I wonder if we'll see Smurf follow the example and come into the pits on this lap. Now has made up another position. He's up into P9, so 10 positions in just 11 laps. Very impressive driving from the LSA driver. He's been in the midfield, so he hasn't got a lot of broadcast time. We've been looking at the leaders. This man here has been having quite the race. And there we go, he's just picked up another position long before turn 1. It looks like that SKR car might have lost 1 position, might have lost 2. Seems like there's a second car did back out of it, so Andre will be able to hold on to P9 for now, but allow simply no stopping this man. Started in P19, now up into P8, it's only lap 11. Carries on at this rate, going to be paying a visit to the leaders. Now he's got a bit of clean air ahead of him for probably the first time in this race. He's been having to pick his way through the field since the start of the race. Now he gets himself into P8, where there's a 7-second gap to the car in front of him, Smurf. So for the next couple of laps he can just focus on his braking points, focus on his apexes, get his best laps as he can, as consistent as he can, try and close that gap, doesn't need to worry about his mirrors too much. See, I think he's just having 1 or 2 issues with the internet, the car just jumping around a little. At the front, still Big T, 7 seconds. SKR at this stage, firmly in charge of the race. LSA in P2, then JPR P3, another LSA car in P4, LSA P5. Are you sure LSA aren't fielding like 10 cars here? Because I feel like I'm saying that name a lot more than I should. P8 for allow, started in P19, and keep going back to that car, keep an eye on our progress, on his progress. Just been fantastic progress. Of course, Portimão was designed with overtakes in mind. We do see a lot of overtakes on this circuit. They look like one of the classical tracks because it's got its bends, it's got its ups and downs, and its gravel traps, but it is not a classic track. In fact, this track was completed in 2009, a relatively new circuit, designed by the same man who seems to design every F1 circuit, Herman Tilke. Surely they could give someone else a go. With the pencil. He's made a few buttes. He's also made a few shockers. Andre now down to P10. Loses out this time to Andres. At the front, it's SKR from LSA, from JPR. So 3 leagues in the top 3. Good to see. Be perfect if we had an SAFRL car in P4, but where are SAFRL? Looking for the first of the SAFRL cars. That's definitely an SAFRL car. That's Andres. It's free. I'm not entirely sure. Not all of these liveries are matching up, so I do apologize for those drivers who don't have a livery that's matching up. I hope you fix it before the end of the season. It just gets a little confusing. For the most part, everyone is pretty identifiable. There's just 1 or 2 cars out there that can get a little confusing. Like that's definitely an LSA car. Convoy P2, 7.5 seconds adrift from the leader of this race. The tyre situation is everybody in the top 7 on a set of medium tyres. None of those top 7 have made a pit stop yet. In fact, nobody in the top 10 has made a pit stop yet. First driver to have made a pit stop was Tresso. He's currently sitting in P11 on a fresh set of medium tyres. Of course, all of these drivers at the front with mediums, they're probably going to be pitting for the hard. If anybody can tell me in the comment section, what do you expect for the Portuguese race? 2-stop or a simple 1-stop? 15 laps into a 33 lap race. We're almost at halfway distance. Very few cars have come into the pits, so that suggests to me that it is a 1-stop. At least the most popular choice is a 1-stop. Any sort of stoppage in the race, I assure you those plans will change very quickly. Last night we had a very difficult situation in Barcelona because the rain was coming down, but the drivers didn't know what tyre they should be on. And it happened twice in the transition from wets to inters and then from inters to slicks. This time around the drivers don't have to worry about any weather. All they have to worry about is keeping that car in a straight line, getting it to the end. Don't think too much about safety cars because there's absolutely nothing you can do to prevent them. Well, there is one thing you can do to prevent them. Make sure you don't cause one. Panda showing his support for JPR. Everyone well supported. Somebody just say LSA. I'm still waiting for somebody to say LSA in the comment section. Maybe LSA have their own private stream. Who knows? Still waiting for these LSA guys. Big T from Convoy. How quick Convoy can be, but tonight he just seems powerless. Unable to reel in Big T, unable to keep on terms with Big T. At least if you're not able to bring that gap down, you want to stabilize it, not let it get any bigger. At the moment, Big T just has that edge. He's able to take a few tenths out every single lap, and then when you look up again, the gap is 2 or 3 seconds more than it was the last time you looked. Drivers towards the rear here, they would be praying for a safety car right now just to bring them back into this race. Guys at the front, they don't want to hear what I just said. Keep on coming back to this man, but what a fantastic drive. Probably one of my biggest weaknesses when driving is overtaking, so I always appreciate a drive like this, a driver that can come down from P19, he's all the way up into P5. He has yet to make a pit stop. That is the same story for all of the drivers ahead of him. Skylar has just come into the pits. He's put on a fresh set of hard tyres. He's actually on his way out of the pits. He's going to lose another position to boot, but that's his teammate. Shouldn't have too much problem getting around his teammate if he does have the pace. Teammate will simply get out of the way. Remember, it's a team championship. This is one of the JPR cars and he's on his way into the pits. Seems like all the drivers with penalties are the drivers at the rear of the field. Tells a story. Usually you get that first penalty. Either you get a second penalty or that first penalty gets you frustrated enough to drive into a mistake. And things just snowball. One mistake leads to another. Whether it's another timing mistake or whether it's you leaving the circuit. Problem just gets worse and worse. That's why it's so important to simply get it out of your head and carry on. Nick Gishin, now we see evidence of that car ghosting. The only other reason he'd be ghosting is if he was a lap behind, and I don't believe that is the case. Then Nick Gishin definitely ghosting at the rear of the field. That's the same case for Mr. Rem. No, it's not. He seems to be in control of that car. P18 awakes. P17 Acid Milk. P16 at the front. It's Conboy. He's now taken the lead of the race. We've missed that. Seems like Big T has made his first pit stop. There he is. He's already emerged from the pits on a brand new set of hard tyres. That'll take him to the end of the race. The two drivers ahead of him yet to make a pit stop. Conboy P1. France P2, Big T, you can call him the provisional leader of this race. Then just off the podium spots, believe it or not, the man who started at the rear of the field, P19, now up into P4, still needs to make that first pit stop. Now on lap 19. Wonder if any of these guys would even be thinking about stretching that medium a little further, maybe finishing on the soft. All comes down to how many tires can you do on the soft. Of course, the more important question than that is how many competitive laps can you do on the soft. It's all good if the soft tire lasts 12 laps, but you're only going to be quick on the first 9. Riding with Destroyer, JPR cars in E6, also just ahead of him for LSA, then allow another LSA driver, Big T, strong position in P3 with two drivers ahead of him yet to pit. Conboy will be enjoying the lead of the race. Of course, he hasn't led up until this point. He's been chasing. But soon he's going to be chasing again because he's going to have to come into the pits at some stage to get rid of those mediums. But he is stretching them in comparison to what Big T did. So as they're doing an extra 2 or 3 laps on that tire, I wonder if they're just going to stretch that for the soft. And is it a risk? Will the soft make it all the way to the end? Maybe it will make it to the end, but maybe it won't make it to the end comfortably. Last thing you want is that tire to fall off a cliff on the last lap or two, struggling for grip. And you just see a whole handful of positions disappear in the closing stages. And of course, you've always got to worry about puncture territory. As soon as that tire gets into the high 60s, you're in a danger territory. It could happen at any moment. Convoy still out front, 6.5 seconds. Then it's France, then Big T, 4.3 seconds the difference between P2 and 3. Of course, if we were in the 90s or even in the early 2000s, you could somehow make those mediums last. You could go right to the end of the race on one set of tires. There was no mandatory pit stop rule. Of course, now you have to do at least the one pit stop, not because the pit stop is mandatory, but rather that the rule says you have to use 2 compounds, therefore enforcing that pit stop. That's why in the rain that rule falls away. Take a set of wet to enters last the entire distance of the race, then you don't have to pit. Now the man that started at the rear worked his way to the front. He now enters the pits. He was a one and only pit stop. We'll see what tyre he comes out on. We were wondering if he'd stretch to the soft. He has. Allow stretched the tyre a little bit longer than everybody else, and he's going to come out on the soft tyre. Should have the superior grip to everyone around him on the initial stages. We've seen he has the base. Now he has the tyre. Convoy still out front. France still P2. It's an LSA 1-2. But SKR in P3 in a very, very strong position. Remember, this car has not pit. Rather, this car has pit. 2 cars ahead of him have not. While he's in P3, it's only on circuit. 2 cars ahead of him, taking as much out of those mediums as they possibly can. They want to get onto a set of softs and know the softs are going to go to the end, taking no chances. Now Convoy coming up to one of the drivers at the rear of the field, coming up to lap one of his teammates. Appears to be the case. No, that's an SAFRL car. Team up at the back. I think that might be Mr. M. Yes, it is. We have a caution lap 22 of 33, but the caution has disappeared as quickly as it appeared. This is your leader. We're waiting for him to come into the pits. We expect him to come into the pits at the end of this lap. But how much longer will he take it? And of course, will his teammate respond? Will those cars pit at the same time? Of course, in the League v League Championship, teammates can pit at the same time because they don't necessarily share the same pit box. So there will be no double stack. There is quite a gap between the 2 drivers, so a double stack wouldn't be a problem anyway. Convoy from France, then Big T just waiting for these 2 to come into the pits so he can retake the lead of the race. He might not have to wait. He's just set the fastest sector 3 of the race so far. Lighting up those hard tyres. Of course, the 2 drivers in front of him yet to pit, but they will surely pit for the soft tyre. They're going to have a lot of grip at the end of the race, but hopefully for them they haven't spent too much time on this medium. They haven't lost too much time. But by the time they come out of the pits, they find that a whole bunch of cars have undercut them, either in position or just taking a lot of time out of them. Quickest lap of the race goes to the man who started in last place, Allow. Where is he? He's down in P9 at the moment. We're watching action between an LSA car and an SKR car. It's France versus Big T, going wheel to wheel. France knows he still needs to pit, but he's still going to defend the position with everything he's got. Remember, it's a team race, it's a team game. If you're able to hold that guy behind you for an extra half a lap, it might help your teammate later on in the race. So the only positions that will be given up lightly are positions between you and one of your teammates. If that car does not resemble yours, you're going to defend, defend, defend. Convoy stays out for yet another lap, does he? Yes, he does. So Convoy stays out. Big T now gets promoted to P2. That's France. He's come into the pits and surely onto the soft tyre as predicted. Big T in P2 waiting for Convoy to do the same thing now. if those two drivers are in communication. They were pretty far away from each other on circuit. Thought they would have pit on the same lap. Convoy's decided to go one lap further. We'll see if it's going to cost them any time. Awakes with a 3-second time penalty. Just a reminder to the viewers, just another one, Taiwan. Every time you see a 3-second penalty pop up on your screen, that means the driver has got 3 warnings for exceeding track limits. Once you get that 3rd warning, it comes with a nice 3-second penalty. Because if you continue to pick up warnings, you continue to pick up penalties. And by the end of the race, sometimes things look a little harsh. 3 seconds of penalties to Taiwan, Destroyer, Andres, Acid Milk and Awakes. Mr. M has a 10-second penalty. That is for a pit infringement, probably speeding in the pit lane. And then Nick Gishin, 16 seconds. That's going to be 2 track infringements and a speeding in the pit lane of his own. No penalties in the top 10 for now. 25 of 33. Approaching the closing stages of the race. Big T has the lead. It's an 18-second gap down to Convoy, and Convoy coming under a lot of pressure from Levy. Luckily for him, he does have a teammate not far behind, so the LSA cars are always able to pull you out of position. It's the advantage of running so close with your teammate. When one of these other cars come and challenge you for position, you've always got a teammate that can just give him a difficult time, help you out a little bit. Remember, LSA lead the championship, SAFRL in P2. And SKR with their victory last week, they're in P3, and it looks like they might have back-to-back victories. Other things to remember for everyone who's watching, reminder, top 3 drivers cannot take part in next week's round. So that is your reward for finishing on the podium. You get 1 week off in the League Championship, even if you don't want a week off. You will not be taking part next week. You'll be a spectator just like me. In fact, the other day I think we almost got Andre in the comment section, but he chickened out at the last moment. Told him all he needed to do was get 1 or 2 drinks in him and then he'd be feeling great about it. He said he'd give it a think. So that's the man down in P13, Andre, one of the SKR drivers. Been hoping for points on the night. Of course, all the SKR drivers knew where they would be racing. They would have been putting in their laps for this track. And Big T has definitely not disappointed the green team. Another SKR car in the points, Skull, P10. Convoy now with the fastest lap of the race. Going to have the fastest lap of the race because he's got the better tyre at the end. Unfortunately for him, that gap is just way too big. There's nothing he can do about a 16.5-second gap with just 6 laps remaining on the clock. Unless Big T were to make some really big mistakes up front, but we haven't seen any evidence of Big T making any mistakes up front. Don't know what would be the sudden cause of that. This is Skylar in P3, and he's defending from a JPR driver. That is Lebby in P4. JPR, one of the teams that are hungry for points, thirsty for points in this round. It's just 50 points in the Constructors' Championship down in P4. We have our first stoppage in the race. It is a virtual safety car. Just hold your breath, because we have seen virtual safety cars that actually turned out to be real full safety cars. But on this occasion, no evidence of anything yellow leaving the pits, so I think we should get underway. Not sure what triggered the virtual safety car. I don't see any DNFs at the bottom of the field. Maybe somebody just leaving the track for a little too long. Last night, I think it was Ronald, left the circuit, broke his wing, and it activated a full safety car. Sometimes the simplest of incidents will trigger a safety car. Other times we'll have a car crash on the straight with no safety car at all. Convoy, Skylar, Levy, Big T. We didn't see that, but Big T came into the pits. He got rid of those tyres and he's put on a set of soft tyres, so he's going to be willing to do the work all over again. It is a bit of a risk taken by Big T. Of course, he's in P4. There's a gap of 1.5 seconds to the next car. That is Levy. It's one thing to catch, it's quite another to make the overtake, to gain the position. Hopefully for Big T, he hasn't just handed this on a plate. To Convoy out front, he's got a 3.5 second gap. He's got his teammates in P2. We have a JPR car in P3. Big surprise there from Big T. Did he have any damage on that car that forced him to come into the pits? Didn't expect him to come into the pits. He was in the lead of the race. Maybe thought he could change the tyres and come out even closer than he is. Very close to the back of Levy. Levy's very close to the back of Skylar, but unfortunately Convoy is opening that gap at the front. And I wonder if this late call from Big T wasn't the best one he could have made. He has got past one of those cars. He got past the JPR car of Levy, so he's back up into P3. Skylar not too far ahead of him on the hard tyre, and it's an aging hard tyre. So I don't think he's going to be able to do too much in the way of defense. He's going to have to clear Skylar before he can get past the LSA car he really wants. That's the one out front. 4.1 seconds is the gap. He will just be feeling powerless behind Skylar at the moment. Car ahead of him, aging hard tyres. And you're driving behind him. Trying to line him up for the straight. I think he might get ahead even before the straight. He's going to open DRS. Does he get DRS? Yes, he does. There, DRS. Obviously the activation line triggered the activation line before he made the overtake, so got the use of DRS to even help him get away a little bit after the overtake. He's now up into P2. He's almost opened up a DRS gap to Levy just behind him. And now he can focus on the man in front, Convoy. He's only got 3 laps to do it, and it's going to have to be 3 very special laps. Convoy, 4.1 seconds up the road. More importantly, he's on a set of soft tyres himself. The only advantage Big T has is that his soft tyres are 3 laps fresher. Will that play a part right at the end? Keep our eyes on that gap. It is coming down ever so slightly, but it's going to have to come down a little quicker than that. 3.9 seconds. We're riding with JPR in P3. T got past not so long ago, and now you can hardly see Big T, so he's getting on with the job, chasing the leader. Give us a close finish, hopefully not a too dramatic finish. Qualified from the session, ignoring the drive-through penalty. Well, Big T has been disqualified from the race, and it was definitely a favourite, and it was looking at pulling off the double back-to-back for SKR. He has been disqualified from the race. The message I read there is that he did not serve his drive-through penalty. into the pit lane, you get a 10-second penalty that's added on at your next pit stop, or at the end of the race, you get a drive-through penalty. There's nothing to add on at the end of the race. Drive-through is very simple. You have 3 laps in order to do your drive-through. You don't do your drive-through within those 3 laps. The moment you go over the start-finish line, you get a DSQ next to your name. Another mistake drivers sometimes make is you cannot serve a drive-through under any form of safety car. If the safety car is out, or the virtual safety car is out, and you come into the pits, you will indeed make a pit stop. The mechanics will stop you, they will change your tires. You will not have a drive-through. So you need to wait for the race to get going again before you can serve that drive-through. Try serve it under the safety car, and it just means you're going to have to go into the pits yet again. Some disappointment in the comment section. We do have a caution, but it's too late in the race to cause a stoppage. Andres has DNF'd from the race right in the closing stages, 32 of 33. Thought it was going to be a race right to the end there. Big T had a lot of pace. He had a brand new set of tyres, and he was starting to close the gap to Conboy. Then a DSQ put the end to that. So it looks like it's going to be an LSA victory. Not quite yet. Still a lap and a half to go. Levy will be trying not to look in his mirrors, just looking ahead of him. 7.3 seconds up the road to Conboy. Not too much he can do about Conboy, but he can still try and defend this P2 for all it's worth. Levy, a potential podium for JPR. Currently in 4th place in this championship, needing every single point they can get, and the podium would be a lovely result. For a venue they didn't even know they were racing at a few minutes before the race. Now Skylar around the outside. He has cleared Levy, so Levy's still on the podium, but he's lost out. P2 down to P3. And all while he battles this LSA car. The other one up the road, the one that's by itself, is having all of the fun. 33 of 33. This is his final lap. Wonder if he would have been looking at that timesheet and he would have started to feel the pressure. Drivers closing the gap, and then all of a sudden a DSQ. Sigh of relief. And then a scream of joy. Conboy over the line to take the victory. Another victory for LSA in this League v League Championship. It's going to be LSA 1 and 2. Very nicely done for Skylar. And then JPR coming in for that final podium position. Very nice drive from Levy on the night. And how can you not mention this man here, Allow. Started in P19, got his way into P4. Just one place away from a podium. It's Ferry over the line in P5. We're waiting for France. There he goes. Skull not far behind. Then Tresso, Destroyer, all the cars coming over the line. Not going to read the rest of them because the penalties are going to switch everyone around somewhat. We'll just now wait for those official results. Wait for the final drivers to come over the line. Conboy, I think he's going to be very, very, very happy with that victory. You're always happy about a victory. But that was surely a victory he didn't think he was going to get not so long ago. JPR car facing the wrong way on the pit straight, not where you want to be. And I think that is that. Everyone has crossed the line. No surprises, Allow picks up the driver of the day. That's obviously because of all the overtakes that he completed. Brief look at the podium so we can get through this entire order. Conboy takes a victory that he probably didn't see coming. Then Skylar P2, Levy P3, Elau P4, Isfari P5, France P6. Then we have Skull, Treso, Smurf, and Destroyer making up the points paying positions. Finishing P11 just outside the points, we have Spikes, then Divan P12, Acid Milk 13, Wakes 14, Mr. M 15, Nick Gishin 16. Andre finished P17, then Andres, and of course the disqualification of a man who could have potentially won this race. Big T finishes at the rear of the field. I will now, as always, allow a minute or two to see if anybody does decide to join the cool down room. We can then bring them into the commentary box for a short chat. But of course, lots of times the driver's just tired or a little mic shy. So I'm going to give them a minute or two to decide if they want to join. I'm going to let you listen to a bit of music, and I'm going to rest my voice for 2 minutes, and I'll be back with you then.
Join the race, watch and see.
Feel the speed, the thrill, high octane drama can't get off fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checker flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high.
And we're back. Looks like nobody's found their way into the cool down room. Everybody feeling a little tired after that. So I'm going to say good night. I'm going to say thank you to everybody who joined the stream tonight. We were up to 29 viewers at a stage. So thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you to everybody who left a like on the video. Of course, if it's your first visit to the channel and you enjoy this sort of content, we upload 3 times a week. SKR, SAFRL, that's 2 of the leagues you see here in the League v League Championship. We also do this right here. So Sunday evening, Monday evening, Tuesday evening, this is what we do. If you enjoy the content, remember to subscribe so you see more of it. And until Sunday, I will see you all then. Cheers.
Rev it up, don't stop. LSA, engines make 'em pop. 5 drivers, each team roaring. Racing hearts, no ignoring. Race night fever, 8 o'clock. Engines roar, the streets rock. 4 leagues fighting, head to head. Burning rubber, painting red. Crowds cheer, lights flashing. Through the night, all passion. One by one, on the track. No turning back, no slack. High speed. speed, adrenaline rush, turbocharged, feel the crush. League pride, holding tight, win or lose, in the night. Race night fever, 8 o'clock, engines roar, the streets rock, 4 leagues fighting, head to head, burning rubber, painting red. Race night fever,